The first one I'll talk about is Motorsport Manager. So every now and again, my head tells me to go on Steam and search for some old crap that I've not played before that's highly rated. Whatever it is, even if I'm not remotely interested in motorsport racing. This one was highly rated. It was in the sort of simulation slash strategy slash management type genre that you can search for on Steam, and it was good. It's 10 years old, but there's not been any better motorsport racing management games since, apparently. So I thought I'd give it a go. It was like dirt cheap because it's 10 years old. And I'm playing a lot of that one. So the theory is, in a review format, is that you take on a motorsport team. You can either take on an existing one or you can create one from scratch using an add-on that you can also download for free from Steam. So you take this team and you're the principal of the team. So you select the drivers from a pool of people that you can scout and you sort their contracts out and what type of personality they are and all that jazz. You spend a lot of time upgrading your vehicle. So there's like 6 different components of your vehicle, including your brakes and your gears and the suspension and stuff. So you can pay money to upgrade different parts, and you can build research facilities for different types of thingy. You can upgrade your factory so you do the parts quicker. You can set your strategy then for the race. So you go to race day, you do your practice and your qualifying and your actual race, and you choose your pit crew, you choose what tyres you want to use, you choose how much fuel to put in the car. So it's quite a cradle to grave side of strategy game. And then it's quite hard. It's quite a challenge. For me, who likes playing those type of games, it's actually quite a challenge. I think it's because I created my own team. So when I've looked at reviews afterwards, if you pick an existing team, it's already at a good standard, so it's a bit easier to just tweak. But when you start your team from scratch, you're the worst team in the worst championship of the game. So your car is like the worst out of all of them. So it then takes a lot of time and effort to upgrade your car to get to an even remotely decent standard so you can compete. It's taken me, I think, 7 whole seasons to actually get promoted finally from the bottom division. This morning, before the podcast, I didn't want to come on the podcast having still not got promoted at all after playing 35 hours of this damn game.
Proud of you, James.
Yeah, me too. It's I can sleep tonight finally after weeks of not sleeping because of it. On the pros, again, it's a good learning curve. You have some tutorials at first which teach you all the basics of the game. And like I said, you start off and you upgrade different bits and it tells you where you're doing well and how you can improve for the future. So that's nice. It's very addictive. Various times in the first few days, I thought I'd never play that again. It's too hard. I'm not enjoying this at all. And then the next day, I'd try and give it another half an hour, one more race. And you're like, did a little bit better in that race. So it's very much a one more race type game. And yeah, it's a good level of complexity. So it's complex enough to keep you interested. There's enough things to tweak to make it feel like you're making a difference, which is nice, but not too complex. So you don't have to spend hours before each race getting bogged down in crap, like in the new FM26. It's just enough to keep you interested, but not to overwhelm you. So you can quickly get through a race in about 20 minutes these days if you play it fairly quickly. There's different speed levels, so you can play the entire 70-lap race if you want to watch the entire thing, which who would, blimey. Or you can cut it down so you watch about 15 laps in high speed mode at 12 speed, and it goes through the whole race in about 5 minutes. So it's a nice little soupçon of entertainment. Not too hard, not too easy. On the negatives, the graphics aren't that great, obviously, because it's 10 years ago and it's just a sort of a top-down look at some racing cars going around the track. Like I said, it's very difficult if you're setting up your own firm from scratch because you really do start at the bottom. So it's very hard to make a foothold, but after a few years, the reward is paying off. And the other negative was there's no licenses. So it's not like recognisable racing teams. There's no people you would know even from 10 years ago. They're all just made-up names from across the globe with made-up teams and made-up championships. So you don't feel like you're playing part of something that's in real life. It's very much a game world. So I've enjoyed it. I've put, like I said, about 40 odd hours into it now and finally got promoted today. So it's a nice sense of achievement. Whether I carry on now that I've actually got promoted, probably not. I'll probably move on to something else. But it's a nice game, probably about 7.5-ish out of 10. Maybe an 8 if you like motorsport. I don't really like motorsport anymore, so probably 7.5. But it kept me interested enough to play 40 hours of a game I've got absolutely no interest in. So that's a recommendation from me. Charles.
I was going to say, yeah, looking at the notes, I was trying to reconcile those two things, but you definitely plowed some time into it. If you mentioned Football Manager, so it's essentially kind of Football Manager, but for motorsport, right? But without the licenses. So if Pro Evo did Football Manager in football, transpose that onto racing, is that kind of fair?
Yeah, but like for this game, there's like maybe 100 races that you can choose from. So okay. Whereas in obviously Football Manager, you're looking at hundreds of millions of people you can scout. So this one feels a lot more compact. You can scout the entire network of people within a few play sessions. So yeah, it's a lot more controlled.